And we'll continue now with our Great American Panel. Tucker said it. If America is ever going to balance its budget, we're ever going to get our fiscal house in order, we're going to have to make some really hard, tough decisions. The president demagogued Paul Ryan. You know, you look what's happened. Look at the riots in Greece. They're talking about austerity measures in Spain and all over basically Europe now. In other words, is this the price of an entitlement society? That as soon as you have to pull back from what the government promised, this is what happens. Riots in the streets, bankruptcy, bailouts, and a standard of living lower than they ever expected.
I would certainly hope that the United States would not break out into riots. I mean, people are going to get a little frustrated that their welfare and that their entitlements are going to be cut. But as Tucker said, I don't think if we don't make those cuts, we're not going to be able to live the way we live and the way we've gotten used to. Everybody's going to have to pinch their piggy banks, and everybody's going to have to do it together.
In 10 years, if you add Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid,
we don't have the money for it.
Interest on the debt, that's every penny we took. That's everything.
I mean, we might as well be called China.
China will own it. China does own it.
That's what I'm saying.
You may be surprised to hear this, Sean, but I agree with you on this. And so, frankly, does the president. The president didn't demagogue the Ryan plan to cut $4 trillion.
He said
demagogued the way
that old people, kids with autism, and kids with Down syndrome will fend for themselves. That was a lie.
The President of the United States wants to cut $4 trillion, just as Paul Ryan does, which, frankly, by the way, is $4 trillion out of $14 trillion. So they got a long way to go, both of them. But the president said Paul Ryan's way to get there. Paul Ryan's way to get there, which is to make Medicare into a voucher program, to make block grants out of Medicaid, is not the way the Democrats would do it.
But the president already took $500 billion out of Medicare.
He took $500 billion out of the growth of Medicare, which is basically taking it away from providers. He didn't take it away from senior citizens. He didn't turn it into a voucher program.
Did you see the glitch that they admitted to today that's going to cost them trillions more? Did you see that? There's a glitch in the health care bill.
It turns out that they're radically expanding the programs at a time when they're unsustainable. The greatest lie of all is that these programs can continue. Medicare's ending, and everyone lies about it. The greatest of all lies, though, and the greatest of all sins that politicians commit is to feed the unrealistic expectations of the American middle class that these programs can continue. That's the problem in Greece. These people have, I think, well-earned outrage. They never thought, they were never told this was going to happen. Right. And Americans are in the same boat.
That's why they're so mad at
in other words, all of us will have paid in to our Social Security our entire lives, and we can expect to see little or nothing.
That's correct.
Nothing.
So the government then will legalize stealing money and
well,
we'll get away with
it. We're already at that point. And by the way, the idea that every entitlement that people get they've already paid for is untrue. And
why am I angry about that?
You earned this. Well, that's just not true.
Yeah, I mean, well, you know, look, I know they're going to means test. I know they're going to raise the retirement age to like 20 seconds before I drop dead and keel over, which, by the way, will be a liberal national holiday. But why do I resent that I worked my whole life when I didn't have any money and now I get paid a little better? Why do they get to steal my money that they said that would be there for me?
Well, I can't tell you why you resent it, but I can tell you this: you've worked very hard, and I know your background. I've known you for a long time. You worked very hard, and you made something of yourself. And thank God you don't need the government support as you get older.
They took my money.
I know they took your money. I know they took your money, but you know, originally it was designed to be a safety net for seniors. And it was designed to be something that seniors could have access to when they're older. But they promised me I would get that money back. They put it in a lockbox. Sean, but you don't really need it, do you? And I don't really need it. But you're going to, maybe. Tucker doesn't really need it.
I actually do need it.
Yeah, wait a minute. You know what? I don't need, let's say people don't need 80%. Why don't we give the government 80% of what we make, Leanne? Every time you go out and model, you know, you just go and you do a show, you'll get 80% of the government. It's
bad enough as it is now. We need to lower the taxes, especially if we want to create jobs. Don't take the money from me that I've put into my own future that I'm not going to get back now because it's already been spent. We can't sustain what we're doing. And no, I resent it because I worked hard for that money.
Exactly.
Well, you get to spend your declining years supporting the baby boom, which will live forever, by the way. They're all immortal.
And live well.
Live
thanks
forever,
to you.
complaining, talking about themselves, and spending your money.
Thanks to Leeann, they'll all live well, too.